Hello friends, my name is Beto Joel and welcome to my new show, Starving Artist Kitchen. Today I'll be interviewing my very first drum teacher, Mr. Paul Locke. Mr. Locke, welcome to my kitchen.
Good morning.
It's great to have you here, and I'm very excited to have this discussion with you about some little bits of your career. Tell us a little bit about what you've done with your career and how you got to where you are.
Sure, I sort of have multi-facets of my life that are all kind of related to the arts. Started with my parents. They're both music teachers, and since I was, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old, I remember running around on a football field with my dad running a marching band.
Nice.
And as a kid, wanting to do that. And so I would get my friends out on our lawn, and I would put like little pieces of paper on the ground with 50 and 40 and 30 like yard lines, and I would teach them like little simple drills that we would march around our lawn. So that kind of developed into a love of marching band and wanting to write drill, and so I kind of started following that path starting in high school. I've been designing drill since I was in college for groups all over the United States and in Japan. And then I was fascinated with magic since I was about 7 or 8 years old. I got my first magic kit when I was in 3rd grade, and I learned all the tricks in the kit, and then started doing magic shows for birthday parties, which kind of blossomed into being a semi-professional magician now.
Nice. With
a company that I own. And then I fell in love with teaching just through my parents, and I kind of went that route through college, becoming a music teacher and a love for drums and being in honor groups all through my kind of growing up in the schools and elementary through high school. Marched drum corps, taught a little bit of drum corps, been working with Riverside City College marching band since I was in college, and taught all levels of music. Started off at high school, then I went to middle school, a little bit more high school, and then I've been at elementary for a long time, and now I'm sort of what we call a program specialist, where I help us all the secondary arts teachers, and then I also run a couple of drum lines here in San Bernardino.
All right.
That's about it, I guess. Kind of in a very short amount of time.
All right, then. Well, let's get right started up to the food portion of this. What would be the first thing that we do whenever we make
crack an egg?
Crack an egg, exactly. So, do you know how to do the one hand pop?
No. Well, I mean, I hit it on the corner and then I just break it open.
I gotcha. It's like if you want to learn the one hand pop and like impress your wife, just go. All you do is come here, pop, and then you just peel it open with your thumb.
Like
there we go. Like a true culinary chef. So right here, you pop it once, and right there.
All right.
Let's see you try it.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Crack.
Oops.
See?
Nailed it.
Great, right? See, I guess I like the two-hand version.
Nice.
All right, we'll try it again.
There we go. A little bit cleaner that time.
A little bit.
Nice. A little sprinkle of salt, then a little sprinkle of pepper, just for a little bit of extra flavor.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of people always think you have to go in a circle when you scramble your eggs, but no, it's a lot faster going just straight back and forth, like a normal piston stroke on balance, just straight up and down. Like I was surprised how much I can relate music to cooking when I started learning how to cook. I'm gonna come over, just turn on the stove as usual. So what's the pattern that we normally tune our snare drums with?
You go crisscross. You go opposite sides, back and
Exactly.
forth.
And that's the exact pattern that we use to scramble eggs.
I just move it around.
Just like stir it around. Yeah, like, I was watching a Jamie Oliver video and he was going in the star pattern, and I was thinking, wait a minute, that's a snare drum.
That's funny.
Here, go ahead and try. Just taking the star pattern. If only tuning a snare drum was this fast though.
Oh yeah.
I normally turn off the heat at the end and just let the residual heat take care of it.
Yeah.
Let's take that in half. Right here. As we eat, can you trace back what were some of the larger moments in your career that led you to where you are now?
Oh, sorry. That was a chair, by the way. That was not me. I would say, to start with, my parents were in a rock band.
Oh, nice.
And they played a lot in my younger years, from when I was born till about 1979.
Okay.
And so I went to a lot of their gigs. In fact, most of our Christmases back then, we had to do our Christmas like at 4 in the morning because we'd all drive out to Disneyland for the day.
Oh, nice.
Because they played at that stage at Tomorrowland. It raises up out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I was constantly watching my dad play drum set.
Uh-huh.
And so when I was about 9, he said, "So what instrument you want to play?" And there was no thought about it. You know, I wanted to be a drum set player just like him.
Nice.
He said, "Well, you want to start on drum set or snare drum?" I'm like, "Oh, I want to start on drum set." Well, you know, I'm 8, 9 years old trying to play drum set, and it was like, you know, the 4 limbs, it was just way too much at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of backtracked and started with snare drum. And so it's just watching, I think, my dad with how much fun he had playing that I wanted to do that. So I had my private drum teacher at my house. It was awesome. I mean,
Nice.
most kids, you know, if their parents can afford it, they have private lessons. But he was constantly there. And then just kind of think the DNA was there too, so it made it, you know, it fell into place really, really fast.
Well, definitely.
So that was, I think, a major point in my life is seeing where I was going to go for my whole life, just watching my dad play drum set.
Okay.
And then I think just along the way, just because I was successful quickly, school was really easy for me. So because I had that early success, I wanted to always be the best I could be. So started trying out for honor bands and always making it and always trying to be the best and being first chair. And
Of course.
so that's kind of like a lot of little moments, I think, in school. Time would be when I decided I wanted to be in drum corps.
Okay.
And I wanted to do it sooner, but I was also teaching because I was just sort of fell into that. And
Right.
so I was able to make money in the summertime rather than spend money.
Exactly.
And I regret 1988, I was at the Velvet Knights drum corps auditions and decided I'd rather teach that summer.
Uh-huh.
And that was the best year they'd ever had in their entire
Right.
career, placing 7th place and great drum line. And so I saw them at championships and I was like, there's nothing stopping me next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was, you know, kind of made me excel to a new level for rudiments.
Right.
And then going to Blue Devils, it was like my mind was just opened up so much more to their grid. I'm sure you're familiar with the grid, kind of adapting every potential possibility with accents and diddles and flams in every permutation. That kind of opened my mind up quite a bit. Another major point, just my first teaching job. I ended up teaching the high school that I went to school at for my
Okay.
first 4 years.
Where would that be?
That was at Redlands High School.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was hired for a middle school in Rialto, but the job opened up in the summer, so I had already signed a contract, but applied for it and then got it. You know, I was right out of college, so I was really young. There were a lot of people that put their name in the hat for that.
Right.
And just kind of falling in love with teaching. You know, you go to college as a music teacher, music education major,
Right.
and you don't really know what you don't know until you get into the thick of things,
Yeah.
right? And so that first year really opened my mind up that, oh, wow, this is my calling, and I love this, even though I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Uh-huh.
And it just kind of blossomed from there.
Exactly. And where was it that you went to school?
I went to UCLA.
Oh, nice.
That was awesome too. And there's a story in that. My percussion teacher at UCLA was Mitchell Peters, who was the principal percussionist at LA Phil.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's percussion teacher in college was Mitchell Peters. He went to U of R, and they didn't have a percussion teacher, so he would drive out to LA to Mitchell Peters' house to get his lessons.
Wow.
Him and a couple other guys.
That's fantastic.
So when I was trying to figure out where I was going to go to college, my first place I applied was Cal State Fullerton. I thought, well, that'd be a great place. There's a lot of great music teachers that come out of that school. And then a guy from USC stopped by at our wind ensemble rehearsal and talked about USC, and I instantly like, oh, that sounds awesome.
Uh-huh.
And they have a marching band, and
Of course.
Cal State Fullerton doesn't, and I was really into that. And so I go home and I tell my parents, you know, like, I want to go to USC, and all they see is dollar signs as soon as they hear that. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, they said, well, we'll let you apply there, but you're also applying to UCLA. And so I went and auditioned for a scholarship at USC, and then they got me a private audition with Mitchell Peters at his house in his studio.
That is so cool.
And so I got a scholarship from UCLA and not from USC, and that was my path. And at UCLA, then I started meeting, you know, people who in the rudimental world in drum corps had that experience because I didn't have any connection to drum corps yet until I got to UCLA.
Okay.
Yeah, so UCLA was wonderful. It was a perfect experience for me.
Oh, nice. That sounds great. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello friends, I hope you enjoyed my interview with Mr. Paul Locke. It was really cool being able to sit down and enjoy a nice meal with my very first band teacher. This was the first part of the interview, so stay tuned for another 1 or 2 parts. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to split it into 1 or 2 parts yet until I listen to the rest of the full recording. The final picture at the end of the video was from the night of my senior recital in 2017 when I had both Mr. Locke, my very first band teacher, and Mr. M.B. Gordy, my final music lesson teacher in college. So it was really cool to be able to go full circle with my music education career. And hopefully sometime in the near future I'll be interviewing Mr. M.B. Gordy, but we'll have to wait on that one. In the meantime, I still have to edit the rest of the interview with Mr. Locke, and then I also have another interview I recorded a couple days ago with my homie Jesse Ray Palacios, who owns his own studio called Century Star Studios and is based in Glendora, California. The interview was filled with a ton of memes, Star Wars jokes, and pizza, so I can't wait to get to editing that one as well. If you enjoyed my content, feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and if you didn't like it, please feel free to drop a comment below and let me know how I can improve. Just make sure to be respectful and civil in your discussions. Or you can just close the window now. Don't like and subscribe this video. Don't hit that notification bell either, because you know, anytime a bell rings, an artist gets the munchies. And with the current health scares canceling all my gigs and all my lessons, I really need to conserve all the snacks that I can get. Please. I'm running out of toilet paper, and all the stores keep selling out of it. The only things I have left to clean with are the scripts that I use to write these interviews. And my sick beats, yo. Alright. Thanks, friends. Have a good look and stay safe.